Stuckism is the future. Futurism is useless. Tate is mad. Tracey Emin's attitude problem. Damien Hirst is a good painter.
Hello, I'm Charles Thomson. I'm here with Paul Edgeworth Johnstone, the editor of the Other Muswell Hill Stuckist newspaper, which has just come out and been written about by Jonathan Jones, the art critic on the Guardian website.
Yeah, we sent Jonathan Jones a copy of the Other Muswell Hill Stuckist newspaper, and he's done quite a very nice write-up on it. I don't think he's quite come round yet to the Stuckist way of thinking, but he seems to be showing an awareness, I think, of the sort of cracks in contemporary art, and a lot of the contemporary art that I think he himself has supported. He's, I think, very honestly acknowledged that all's not what it seemed, and all this praise for Damien Hirst, which he's sort of seen fault in, not through Stuckism, but through really disliking Hirst painting so much that he actually sees Hirst as not being a very talented individual, and this kind of rubbishes everything else he's done, because they've obviously for all these years been working under the assumption that the man's a genius, and now he thinks otherwise. So in a very different way to Stuckism, Jonathan Jones has pretty much come round to a similar conclusion with regards at least to Damien Hirst's earlier work, that it's not very good, and I think he implies, if not states in his blog, that this really does cast some suspicion over the whole of contemporary art in general, which I think is a very brave thing for him to say, because he's putting his own reputation on the line by saying what he knows is the truth, and I think that's something we have to appreciate about Jonathan Jones, and he's got a fair amount of flack in his comments for it. People who comment on Jonathan Jones's blog are now kind of laying into him a bit by saying, well, you said Hirst is great and now you're saying he's not. You're throwing your reputation away, you're really proving yourself to be wrong, whereas I think both Charles Thomson and myself see it the other way. We see this as
Charles Thompson's me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm standing here just right in front of you as it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charles wrote a very good comment on Jonathan Jones's blog to say, if you...
That's still me.
Yeah, still Charles says that if you want just someone who's going to give you a standard line that never changes no matter what changes in the art world, then really Jonathan Jones's blog isn't the place for you. What Jonathan has done is recorded his thoughts on art very honestly, and they change, and the great art critic Robert Hughes changed his view of Philip Guston's figurative work. He at first didn't like it and then retracted that statement when he saw that he was wrong. And this is a kind of art critic I think the British public need and is in very short supply of. So Jonathan Jones has gone up a lot in my estimations today.
So, Paul,
Yeah.
tell me about the newspaper.
The newspaper is the truth about Stuckism as the Other Muswell Hill Stuckists see it, and our reaction to the art world around us.
That sounds distinctly dodgy to me. Is it?
No, it's not dodgy at all. The only thing dodgy going on is what's going on in the rest of the art world. What we're doing is completely legitimate.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's honest, it's what we think, it's...
Isn't everybody doing that?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. And by the way, who's that woman in your ear? Behind you?
Oh, her?
Yeah.
I painted her about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay. So is this a Stuckist painting?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And what makes a Stuckist painting a Stuckist painting?
That it's by a Stuckist.
Okay. And what makes a Stuckist a Stuckist?
They are attracted to the manifesto. I think that's what it is. The manifesto registers with us, it describes what we're doing.
So you don't have to paint a picture, you just have to subscribe to the manifesto?
No, you have to paint pictures.
Right. Is there anything particular about the pictures that stands out?
Your approach to how you paint them, I think, is what hits home with most of the painters in it, yeah.
Yeah, but I have got bad news for you, because according to
Several of the people posting on Jonathan Jones' blog, the Stuckists are terrible painters, as well as Damien Hirst being a terrible painter. Are the Stuckists terrible painters?
I think Stuckism has work which is amongst the best of the last 100 years, and I'm very thankful that there's people out there who are collecting it and who see the work for what it is. It's very valuable and of a very high standard, the same standard as what's hanging in galleries in the Nationals.
Okay, so tell me something about the Stuckist paintings that you notice that particularly appeals to you.
I think the Stuckists are all honest painters, and you can like them, you can not like them, but I think that they are honestly going about their art as they know they should be.
Right, let's go in the other room and have a look at your newspaper, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to lead the way?
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going, do I? Well, I do actually, I've been here tons of times before. So somewhere down here is the newspaper. Actually, you carried it in with you.
Yes, yeah, I had it.
Hang on, this is it. And the most glaring thing about it is Tate is mad. Is Tate mad?
Tate is mad, yeah.
Why?
It turned down an opportunity to have 160 Stuckist paintings for free for the nation.
That is mad. Mad, 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 mad! But you have got something from the director of the Tate, Sir Nicholas Sirota. A letter that he wrote to you, which you've reproduced part of on the front page.
Look, here it is. Sir Nicholas Sirota writes to Edgeworth Johnstone of the Other Muswell Hill Stuckist on 30th October 2012. Okay, what's the lowdown? I want to know.
The Stuckists did their first demonstration and weren't allowed on Tate premises at all by the security team, so...
What do you mean they did the first demonstration? They did their first demonstration in 2000.
Sorry, the first demonstration for this year's Turner Prize.
This year being... This year being last year.
This year being 2013 and Turner Prize 2012.
So hang on, with last year's demonstration. This year.
Last year, the Stuckists did two demonstrations against the Turner Prize. At the first one, we weren't allowed on Tate premises by the security team, which I thought was a little bit harsh.
Well, we were allowed on, just not to demonstrate, because I went to the toilet, for example.
Yes, we weren't. The demonstration was not allowed on Tate premises, but as members of the public, we were, which I thought was a little bit unreasonable, because they wouldn't even let us tie our placards to the railings, which were in no one's way at all. So I wrote to Sir Nicholas. Well, I thought it was a little bit, you know, a little bit overkill.
We want to tie our bloody placards to the railings.
Well, I thought it's harmless, they're out the way.
Well, the railings are quite prominent, actually.
Well, but nobody walks along there.
No, nobody walks there, no.
No.
So we weren't obstructing anybody.
We wouldn't have been. We're actually forced to obstruct people.
Anyway, let's not go on about this. What's the upshot of it? Why is it in your newspaper? What did he say? This man, Sirota, Sir Nicholas Sirota, you know, the kind of thin one.
In reply to my request to be allowed onto the premises, he wrote me a very nice letter, and he not only said that because of the building work going on, the security team had to be a bit cautious with keeping access areas clear to the only entrance.
So he plainly didn't actually know what was going on at all, or what his head of security was doing, because he was talking about keeping an access area open, and the area we were in, there was nobody wanting to get any access, because it was just by a railing that was not actually by the access area. So he was being nice, but he actually didn't know the situation.
Well, to be fair, what he said doesn't explain why we couldn't use those railings. That's true. So
Oh, well, never mind, you know.
Yeah.
To her is human. So he's got a lot of things on his mind.
Exactly. He's a busy man, but he did write a very nice and quite a long letter back, and he did acknowledge as well. He went beyond what he had to say really, and said that he recognises that the Stuckists consider the right to demonstrate is important. They recognise that. He valued our contribution to the Turner Prize debate as well.
So this is quite a significant statement. We appreciate the debate your movement encourages in relation to the Turner Prize, and have always been very understanding of your presence. Hitherto, we consider the right to demonstrate is important, and we would hope that our relationship with the Stuckist will remain good-natured as we believe it has always been before. That's good, isn't it?
Very nice, yeah.
So no complaints there with Sir Nicholas?
No, very nice letter. Both my wife and I are very happy.
And so is he on the same level as Jonathan Jones, or not quite at that level yet?
Not quite. He's not quite up to Jonathan Jones's standards yet.
Okay, right, great. Keep on trying, Nicholas, you'll get there.
Yeah, he's got potential.
Let's have a look inside. What's page 1?
Page 1.
Manifestos.
We started with manifestos. Did you want to start with the quote on the front from Sorota's security guard? Or did you want to...
Okay. Why should we? Is that important?
No, it's
I'm
not.
not going to do everything, I just want a quick whiz through. Obviously we have Tracey Emin's attitude problem down here. Lives on.
It lives on in the minds of someone who decided to slate our YouTube video.
Manifestos. Where's... now Black Francis is a Stuckist.
Yep.
Black Francis is the Pixies, I presume.
It is, and later well, he had a solo career as well. Very talented musician, has now turned to painting and has now found Stuckism, which was great news for me because I've been an admirer of his music since I was probably about 13 years old, when I'm 35 now. So amazing for me to find Black Francis as a Stuckist.
Right, what's the next page then after a bit about Black Francis?
The Other Muswell Hill Stuckist biography. I've noticed a factual error which I'm going to have to correct in issue 2.
Right, so what is this mistake?
I said that we attended the Stuckist Turner Pride demonstration in 2007, which can't be true because there wasn't one.
You're a naughty boy.
I know.
How dare you!
I'm a bit of a revisionist. I will correct that mistake.
The mad eye! A mistake! He's made a mistake! He's made a mistake! He said he was there, and there wasn't one! Lies! Lies! Gutter journalism! At its worst! You laughing at?
Nothing. A slight oversight on my part with recording history and doing my own take on it. It must have been a 2008 demonstration, but there you go.
Okay, but the controversial thing, as far as I can make out, was saying that Damien Hirst was a good painter. Now that's been dumped on me, as Charles Thomson said this, but I'm not the only one that's saying it at all, am I? Because you said it too, didn't you? So confess, it's not just me, is it? This is your headline. You think it as well, don't you?
Yes, I think Damien Hirst is a brilliant painter. The work I saw of his at No Love Lost and downstairs at the St James's White Cube was amongst the best contemporary painting I've ever seen, and it looks to me like he's got some Stuckist values in there which we never knew existed.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I was really amazed that critics couldn't see any kind of qualities in this work. I mean, just the colour alone was very commendable. You know, if you work with colour, you look at colour in people's work, you get a sense of, you know, when somebody is accomplished in how they use it in a composition. And he was. The iconography was interesting and suggestive. I didn't think it was gratuitously shocking. I mean, there was a fetus in a jar. It seemed to sit with the other objects.
Yes,
you know.
that's all.
Yeah. So I don't really have a problem there, but it seems to have put the cat among the pigeons.
Yeah. I think they're always looking for something either totally new or that goes along with standards they're already familiar with and is really good by different standards. I think with his paintings, he's doing what the Stuckists are doing, which isn't something that's trying to be radical, it's trying to be shocking. He's just doing genuine expression in his artwork, and I don't think that really registers very well with a lot of the critics. They're looking for other things, and they're looking for things that I don't think are really artistic qualities.
It seems the genuine expression is radical, is shocking to people.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sensitive to the work, I was shocked how good it was, but I was also, I found it quite, I don't know, just so absorbing, that you don't get with paintings that aren't any good. I mean, it's not just championing painting for the fact that he's doing painting and we're painters.
Oh no, because I mean, if it was rubbish painting, it'd be rubbish painting.
Yeah, and Stuckists have no problem saying that.
He's doing rubbish painting.
Well, we'd love to say that, because that would go along with what we've been saying all along, but unfortunately he's a very good painter, and I just saw someone who's really in tune with what they're doing.
Okay, so what do you think of these people that are commenting on Jonathan Jones' blog? They kind of hate it and say he's a terrible painter.
I can't understand it at all. I mean, I can't see how you can look at those paintings and not think they're good paintings. They're not technically brilliant, but then technically brilliant for the sake of it isn't, you know, what's it worth? I mean, you look at painting, you want to see something a bit more than that. I mean, it's all right having technical skill, but Damien Hirst has really gone for the jugular, I think, with his work, and it's incredibly strong, and it's a view I just can't understand. Maybe it's being reactionary, maybe it's not liking the unpredictability of what he's done, maybe it just unsettles them. I just can't think of anything.
So the question is Jonathan Jones still a reputable critic, or will he have tarnished his reputation forever, not only amongst quite a few of his blog readers, but amongst his fellow critics, for daring to suggest the Stuckists should be taken notice of and may even have a place, or do actually have a place, in art history? That is the question.
I think Jonathan Jones is a reputable critic because he's coming round to the Stuckist way of being, and that is say what you think.
In 2009, Jonathan Jones wrote in his Guardian blog that the Stuckists were enemies of art for saying that found objects weren't art. And of course, one of the most notable exponents in contemporary terms of using the found object is Damien Hirst, particularly with a shark. What we as the Stuckists then did was to call a show The Enemies of Art. That was Darren Udyan's idea. We did a second show called The Enemies of Art, and brought out a book called The Enemies of Art, which features Jonathan Jones in the painting on the cover. And that had an intro by Edward Lucy Smith. In his blog now, Jonathan Jones is saying that Damien Hirst's work is a con.
I think that Jonathan Jones has got obviously his enemies now amongst his old supporters, and I think that's the hallmarks of somebody that's doing their job properly.
Yeehaw! Enemies! Enemies is a word suggesting itself. It's a word suggesting itself. Enemies of something. Enemies of, what's the word?
Begins with A.
Begins with A. It's got an R in it. I feel an R coming on. Do you feel an R? Do you feel an R?
I can feel something.
Yes.
It's not an arse.
Not an R?
It's an R.
It's an R followed by a T. Enemies of
art.
Jonathan Jones stands accused, hoisted by his own petard, as an enemy of art. Anyway, sorry about that, Paul.
Don't worry, I'm used to it.
What do you mean you're used to it? I think I'm doing this all the time.
No.
Well, I'd just like you to flick quickly through your newspaper and tell me one or two of the things that are in it, if you will do.
Starting from where we are now, at Hirst, we've got Billy Childish and Art Hate, where Charles gives an introduction to Billy and how he started and left Stuckism. Then we do a quick bit about what we think of Art Hate and how it compares to Stuckism.
Okay, so that's Stuckism. What do we have next? Next page, please.
Is
Stuckist Collections and Tate. Then we have Edgeworth Johnstone.
yes, me.
Yes, with a rather nice painting here, if I may say so.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get a better look at this painting. Okay, that's yours, and over the page, what have we got next? Aha, and this is you at night?
This is my wife Shelley Lee.
This is your wife Shelley Lee?
Her painting.
Have you got any spare ones?
Well, I don't know if it's a self-portrait. I've never asked her about it.
Well, surely you should know.
I'm ashamed to say I don't know. I think all of her work.
What's this guy doing? He doesn't know whether that's his wife or not. I think I'd know if it was my wife.
I think.
Let's see how he's going to get out of this one.
I think all Shelley's work is a self-portrait in a way, and I think this is a self-portrait, although she hasn't really painted it necessarily to look like herself.
Right, I shall find out. Follow me. Here we go. Shelley!
Yeah.
Shelley!
Yeah.
Shelley!
Yeah.
Okay, we found a painting
Uh-huh.
by you.
Oh.
There, this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what we want to know is it you?
Oh, no, that's not me. I just made up.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is it the real you?
Not quite.
But almost.
Well, yeah, well, it's
Don't be shy, darling.
No, it's all right. Okay, well, we'll let you off. We'll let you off this one.
okay.
Right. But what I do want to know, Jonathan Jones has just featured this newspaper, right, in his blog, as you know.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's all your fault.
All my fault.
Well, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I said to send him a hard copy. Yeah, that's right.
So it's all your fault.
Okay, yeah.
You've influenced the national media.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the dinner's almost done,
Yeah,
is it?
dinner almost done, so
Nice,
whenever
smells
you're
great.
ready, it's ready.
Okay, now
All right.
we'll go back and continue our conversation.
Okay.
And see you later.
See you later.
How long do you reckon it's going to be?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Not long, not long. Quick. 5 minutes to go. Okay, so I believe you've got something about the Times art critic, Rachel Campbell-Johnston. Now what have you got about her?
That she writes absolute nonsense.
Absolute nonsense. Are you sure about this?
We have it on good authority, I think, as we've recorded in the newspaper, that when she came to see the Go West Stuckist show in central London, the gallery owner told, I think she told you, didn't he, Charles, that she'd made up her mind about the show before she even saw the work, and I think her review of the show pretty much suggests that that was true.
Right, so there you go, Rachel. I'm afraid you're right nonsense, darling. Okay, let's get back to something nice. We've got some monotypes here, monoprints, pleasantly entitled, what's this one called? Balloon and...
Rape scene.
Rape scene, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay, rape scene, and the one next to that is...
Flower piece.
Flower piece.
That one's sold.
Alright, okay. What size are the originals?
That was, I think, about A2. I think that was.
Oh, it says it here, doesn't it?
Oh,
30.
35 by 27.
Okay,
smaller.
next page, please.
More of the same.
More of the same, more monoprints.
Yeah.
So, did you get the idea of this from Tracey Emin?
I got it from a documentary on Paul Klee. They showed how he did a lot of his paintings, and I copied what he done, but it is the same as what Tracey Emin does as well, yeah.
Oh, I see. So, do you think she got some of her ideas and influence from Paul Klee?
She might have done. She might have done. I knew of it before, but it never occurred to me to try and do it until I saw the Paul Klee documentary.
Right, well, when did you see that?
A few months ago, literally the day before I did all these.
Right.
So.
And how long did it take you to do these? There's 9 of these, aren't there?
Well, I did about 15 or so, all in the same day.
Right.
They're very quick.
Right, Paul, the editor-in-chief, publisher, designer, typographer, distributor, publicist, raconteur, and general handyman.
Yeah.
That's issue 1.
That's issue 1, yeah.
I think you've already made some promises about issue 2.
I have. I've been keeping my blog pretty much updated.
No, not your blog, on the Jonathan Jones page.
So...
You don't even know what you're doing, do you?
What
You can't remember what
about?
you said. You're on drugs.
Well, no comment.
You're not. You never take drugs. Don't try and pretend you do. Street cred. You never take bloody drugs. You
No, I don't
drink alcohol.
I'd rather people think I was a drug addict than totally stupid.
Just a little forgetful. There's probably a lot of things going on.
What did I write on Jonathan Jones's blog?
You wrote about the number 2.
Issue number 2. Look out for
It
number...
was going to be about critics and Jonathan Jones, wasn't it?
I've been writing about
That's
him...
what you said.
Yeah, I have been writing about it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a lot of the stuff...
Was that tongue-in-cheek?
No, not at all. I'm going to take a lot of the stuff I wrote on my blog and put it into the next newspaper.
Yeah, but is it about Jonathan Jones?
No, well,
You said it was going to be about critics and Jonathan Jones.
I have written...
But to have a go back at these stupid people that post on his blog site having a go at him, right? You know the sort of people.
Yeah.
What happens is he praises Damien Hirst and they have a go at him, and now he's slagging off Damien Hirst and they're still having a go at him. So it's kind of lose-lose. At least we kind of are reasonably consistent. We don't just slag off people for the sake of it. We're slagging him off when he's praising Hirst, and now he's slagging off Hirst, we're praising him. That figures, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah. I will do a response to what I read today on Jonathan Jones's blog in issue 2.
So that'll be in issue 2?
Yeah,
that'll be in issue 2. Good. And what else is going to be in issue 2? Is it going to be in issue 2?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I've got a load of material. I'm going to try and get an interview with Mark D, Stuckist painter. He should be coming around our house. And he's someone who started painting because of Stuckism. And he's been a loyal supporter, member of Stuckism for quite a few years now. So I'm going to try and get some of his views in the next one. I'm going to put some stuff about Philip Guston, one of my new heroes of contemporary art. Okay,
that's enough of a plug.
Right.
Sorry, you only paid for 30 seconds.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you very much. That's Paul, also or more popularly known as Edgeworth Johnstone, and a big hand, please.